Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this third open forum for the PDGA Pro Disc Golf World Championships. We wanted to make use of the gathering power, convening power of the World Championships with 45 different countries here to not focus only on pure competition, but also on trying to make things that are good for disc golf growth. Tomorrow we will have a country coordinators meeting with, I think it's 26 countries present. So we will gather experience to try to make use of the good things of some countries to apply it in others. And we're covering different topics that are related with disc golf growth. The first one had been media, and second one had been female disc golf, how to grow female disc golf. And now we're going to talk about disc golf courses as tourist destinations, present, future tendencies, and we will cover all the aspects from the design point of view to the operations point of view and successful resource existing, to everything cover, everything related with the tourism destination, from public support to offering extra activities like hotels, etc. No? So we will give 2-3 minutes for each of the speakers to introduce themselves and tell all of you what they do, and then we will start the debate. We will have the conversation, and at the end we will have an open question debate, so you can feel free to make any questions. So Adamczak can start from Åland Islands. It's a case of public support on maybe you already know. Adam?
Thank you very much. My name is Adamczak, and I'm the chairman of small entrepreneurs on the island with about 30,000 inhabitants. And during COVID, I got a task to find a new way to get people, tourists coming to Åland with a new reason. And the answer on that was actually disc golf. And marketing is really interesting thing. And the thing we did was invest in courses, because in a short time we put up courses close to tourist places. So that meant that people could come there and have fun and play, and in 18 months, 28% of the Finnish population knew about Åland is a disc golf destination, and that was without any money put on Google ads or Facebook ads. It was word of mouth. And if you're interested to hear more about that story, you can go to TEDx on YouTube. There is an 18-minute about that. And the last thing I would say, now we try to do a new thing with Future of Disc Golf, a youth support that we are going to have next week together with PDGA and UTB and other guys and Discmania. Yeah, that's me.
We have Krueger from UDisc. UDisc is not only the scoring app, UDisc is a whole ecosystem. It's very useful in a lot of aspects. All of us, we have started with UDisc, and they have probably the best, the most comprehensive course directory in the world, and they have a lot of insights, not only the locations of the courses, but a lot of extra information about those courses that can help us as a sport to grow the sport.
Yeah, thank you. You did about half my intro for me, so I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm Krueger. I'm the creator of the UDisc app. Like he said, we are probably most known for scorekeeping, but we do a lot of other things too, including having the most comprehensive course directory in the world. There are I want to say a little bit about the team too, just because it's not just me. There's 24 of us that work at UDisc. We're not just building scoring. In fact, a big part of what we do these days is generating insights so that courses can measure their growth. And I think that's why I'm here today, to help sort of give some numbers and facts behind the tourism that these awesome course designers and people that are involved with courses are seeing. So anyway, last year there were over 20 million rounds recorded on UDisc, which is quite a huge number, and it's going up every year. There's over 16,000 public courses in our directory across more than 90 countries. So we see kind of what disc golf looks like all over the world, and we're starting to do a lot more reporting. And something I want everybody to know that is here or is watching this is that we love giving away this information for free to everybody that can use it for the good of disc golf. As UDisc, we have realized the best way that we can help disc golf get bigger is by getting information in the right people's hands. And we're not able to go to every city in the world and advocate for disc golf, but all of you that are spread across the world can. So yeah, please come to us if you need any data about disc golf. We're happy to give you that. impact@udisc.com or help@udisc.com are the best ways to reach us. And I wanted to say just like two very big stats to kind of set the tone here. So like I said, 20 million rounds were played on UDisc last year, and 1.2 million of those were played by people who traveled over 200 kilometers to get to the course. So that's about 5% of all the rounds on UDisc are being played by people that are traveling over 200 kilometers to get to the course. So that just screams tourism. That means people are spending money in the local community, they're getting a hotel, they're buying gas for their car, and they're injecting, there's a real economic impact there. And then finally, we did a survey last year. We asked people if they were planning to take a trip specifically for disc golf in the next year, and 53% of people said that they were planning to take a trip just for disc golf. This isn't like, I'm flying somewhere and I'm going to bring my discs. This is, I'm going on a trip to play disc golf.
That's great.
Yep.
1 month and a half ago, I had the opportunity to be at Valle Disc Golf Center in Sweden. I played the beginner course and I played the beautiful yellow course for the amateurs. I'm not brave enough to play the white layout, but we enjoyed the experience of having a full disc golf oriented resort with a pro shop and all the facilities. So representing an established disc golf destination. Vincent, tell us a bit about Valle model.
Yeah, thanks very much. My name is Vincent Schaffler. I represent Åland Disc Golf Center and OTB Europe. Relatively new to the disc golf scene. I am a COVID player, discovered in 2020, but obviously fell pretty hard for it. Ended up buying a property that had existed since 2013 by an amazing course designer, Camilla, who's in the audience today. Talking about creating a destination is something that our team is really working hard on. We have come up with some crazy ideas like disc golf glamping. We have Europe's largest pro shop right on site at the Åland Disc Golf Center. I think we have around 50,000 discs in stock today, and many more on the way. We have a tech disc center there, we have camping, we have RV places. There's all kinds of reasons to come and visit. And to Matt's point there, that we are seeing more and more people coming long distances to visit Åland, which is absolutely fantastic. One thing I would really like to say is a discovery that we've recently had is with the disc golf glamping, is that people, once you list it on Airbnb, they are coming there to camp, but they're discovering disc golf. Families, people from all over the world. 2 days ago, we had a family there from Tanzania that was there to camp, and they ended up staying and playing, a father and a daughter. It's really fantastic to see the diversity that you get in there when you actually have a camping site. It's like using a magic little fish hook to get in people that would never maybe have looked at disc golf before, and all of a sudden they've got a blue course, our entry-level course. They've got a yellow course that was Calixto's favorite, and mine too, by the way. And then we have the white course as well. So it's for all levels of play, and we're just getting started there. We're having a lot of fun, and the future is really super bright for Åland, for OTB. Lots of really interesting things on the way. So.
To have disc golf courses, we need people that build disc golf courses and know about building disc golf courses and how disc golf courses is way more than putting a basket on the ground. Disc golf park has been basically the European reference on the whole concept of designing, building a disc golf course, and you have activities all over Europe and maybe all over the world. Can you explain us a little bit about that?
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. My name is Dominik Stampfer. I am promoting and I'm working for a disc golf park. Disc golf park is a disc golf course concept. Basically, we not only build the courses, but we plan the course from A to Z, meaning first steps on the ground, locating the right areas, the right courses, obviously designing, installing, but also in the end trying to help and promote the municipality or whoever is building the course together with us, that disc golf becomes a success. We are active worldwide. We have designers basically in I think 15 different countries. We have 4 active countries where people do nothing else than designing courses as their day job, and I do think that this is pretty important in order to grow disc golf as a true sport, to get more courses into the ground. And I, for myself, I'm into the disc golf world since almost 20 years. I'm located in Germany, and as you might know, or you know, that German disc golf is a bit behind. And this is also what we try to change with that. And for us, over the last 3 years, I'm working here since 2022, we could already see that there's a rapid growth once you start actively working, going towards the municipalities, talking to them. And that has been a great first step. And the great thing about it is that also at this point in time, just after 3 years, the first tourism destinations are also approaching us actively and saying, hey, we would like to take part of it. We see quite good potential in it. And so right now, this week, we are going to build, at least for me, my first destination in Austria, in the German Alps. We have a course located there of 1,700 meter height. And it's going to be a 18 plus 6 hole kids and training course, and it's going to be a first stop also in Central Europe, and I'm looking forward for the next 1.5 hours and the discussions.
Okay, disc golf can be not only a sport but also a strong tourist attraction. I'm from Spain. We know a lot about golf as a tourist attraction. We are the Florida of Europe, and many golfers of all around the world fill our golf courses there, and it generates a lot of wealth. It's a big industry in Spain, and some countries are like also like Åland Islands is working on. Some countries like Cyprus are actively working on trying to become a tourist attraction. They are actively supporting the creation of new courses, and we have with us Robert R.W. Abel. From US, he's living in Spain, but he has half Cypriot, and in fact, he's going to play here representing Cyprus, and can tell us a couple of things about all this.
Yeah, so just a mix. I'm a Texan who lives in Madrid, Spain, my wife's Cypriot, and so I'm representing Cyprus here. Been playing disc golf for 30 years, and having moved from my wife's job, just keep changing what I've found I can do with my passion and career. I now have a disc golf shop in Spanish Mercado in downtown historic Madrid, Spain, so I introduce disc golf to people every day. They're just walking by. But it's great to sit with these gentlemen here. I've used a lot of their resources, the Åland Islands projects and UDisc's data. I'm a mover and shaker in building relationships and introducing disc golf. So when I was in Madrid, helped source the location for the first course in Madrid and worked with the Paul Macbeth Foundation project, using data from UDisc and Åland and explaining what disc golf is, bringing disc golf to new places. Just as well as with Cyprus, trying to get new courses in, and kept running into issues with the Department of Forest. They said, well, we got land, we don't have money. On the tourism side, with the data that is created from UDisc, and specifically the TEDx talk from the Åland projects, I was able to sit down with the Department of Tourism, and in one of their grants passing through, they earmarked about 100,000 euros for disc golf course development. So there's a lot of money out there through the government, through the tourism departments that people can use. So you've got entities where you can wait for the government to do things for you, and you might wait forever, or if you want to find stuff, you find options and properties and talk to municipalities and do those pitches, there's other government resources available to find the money, which is really important, right? Because we can't always do these things for free. Traditionally, grassroots in states, a lot of courses were built for free by volunteers. And fast forward to now, and especially in the balance of Europe, a lot of structure is different, and it needs to be through an executed contract. So that's what I speak to. Great to sit here with these gentlemen, as they've helped me create some projects, as the data they create and the publications they've made is made huge progress for lots of people. So thank you.
Okay, we have dream destinations of disc golf. Disc golf has a lot of facets, a lot of different types of courses. And Lille Leland in Norway is a different course. If it's something, it's a different one. Stian Johnsen has put a lot of hours, a lot of passions, and how many episodes of the vlog 200, I don't know, something like this, like how to build the best disc golf course in the world. You can follow for days or weeks all their adventures. And well, I would like you to talk us about what is the inspiration for the Lille Leland project, and how do you envision how a dream disc golf destination should be?
First, a few words on who I am. Like you said, Stian, Johnsen. I'm from the south in Norway, where typically things aren't moving as fast. So we tend to speak a little slower and take our time, in the south. So my background is from film and television and documentaries. I have a bachelor's degree from Brisbane, Australia, in 2005. So I have 20 plus years of experience with telling stories. And I have a part-time job in the military. They call me when they need someone to do leadership training. So I train and teach military leadership from sergeants and up, and also on the lieutenants and up. So I'm trying to take some of that also into the moving forward from here. But we started Little Leland Disc Golf, our family. Casper, my oldest son, is also here. And the wife, Lene, and Felix. And now also we have a course manager from the US, Paul Black. So now we're a small family of 5 trying to build the best disc golf course in the world, or at least best disc golf destination in the world. Might be some competition, which is great, because then we can push each other. It's a little bit of a kind of a joke, especially if you heard about Janteloven in Norway and Sweden. But so I've tried many things on how to kind of help the sport. I did a documentary which is on DGN, Magic of Disc Golf, 8 episodes. Try to tell some stories. Now I'm working with Adamczak and Rickard Schöll and OTB and Steve Dodge, and trying to do something for the juniors, trying to influence PDGA to, whereas if you take cash as a 16-year-old, you're still 16-year-old. You should be able to play junior worlds. So, but you asked me about Little Leland, sorry. So what we're trying to do is just do something that feels right for us, and it just happens to be, like you said, different. Our hole one is like no other hole one, which is kind of, we're realizing more and more we're going to play into that. So now we're going to build an event around hole one, which we are calling the dunk contest. I envision we have Climo and other greats on a referee table with you giving points like at the dunk contest in the NBA. So you could throw putters only, the Simon line, and it's like a whole day event even with just on hole one, because it's kind of crazy. And also I'm trying to get our region, Agder, to be, because we have the topography and close proximity to airports and ferries, and also less snow than rest of Norway. So trying to build our whole region now, working with politicians and government funding entities, and yeah, it takes time, but with the numbers that Matt and UDisc people are providing, it's getting a lot easier, I would say. So thanks for the numbers. Also, I'm trying to get disc golf on TV, on national media, trying to figure out a way to where we can present the sport other than play-by-play, because play-by-play is not going to engage anyone but the die-hard fan. So we need something that's cool to watch for my mother and your mother. We have talked
about that in the media talks, and I absolutely agree to open.
So that's me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have many guests. The table is not big enough, and we have even some remote guests. We have Pasi Koivu, which is nearby, but he's involved in the putting contest, so he has not been able to attend us, but we are well represented here by Dominik, but thank you, Koivu. And we also have John Houck from the United States. He was going to be here, but there was some personal issues that has made it that impossible. But John, I would like you to introduce yourself and tell us what Houck Design has been doing for so many years.
Okay, thank you, Calixto, very much. I just want to say I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Calixto and PDGA Europe, for the invitation and for finding the technical solution. Dee and I are both very sorry that we couldn't be there in person, but we look forward to being back before too long. I want to thank everybody at the PDGA, the Kippis, and everybody there, and of course, a very special congratulations to UC and his staff. I know it's been UC's dream for many years to have the World Championships in Europe, so we congratulate him and everybody involved listening to the historic time in this call. A little bit about me. I designed my first tournament, designed my first course 41 years ago. Played my first tournament something like 47 years ago. Right now I have solo designed or in the process of designing 130 something courses, I think. I've been blessed with great opportunities at maybe 5 that have been in the top 3 in the world on UDisc and or VG course review. And when we joined the business about 20 years ago, Houck design was new, and we went fully into course design business. So it's a passion of mine. I've written many articles for the PDGA and other publications, workshops in Leland's annual conference for course designers. So obviously it's something that's near and dear to my heart. We're in the middle of several projects right now that hope to be destinations or maybe hope to be PGPT venues. So much has changed just in the last 5 years. Because of COVID and because of the rise of the Pro Tour, it's a whole different world. 10 years ago, you couldn't pay somebody to go watch a disc golf tournament, and now they're traveling everywhere and paying to watch, and that's a big impact on what we do. So I'm looking forward to the conversation. Thank you again to everybody, and thank you for this.
Thank you. And we have our last guest, Jere. I'm not skilled enough to say your surname, but you will do it better than me.
Yeah, close enough.
You're representing Kippis.
Yeah.
Kippis is another dream destination, very well known. Maybe use your microphone, and you can explain us what Kippis is about. Of course, you can do.
Thank you, or thank you everybody. I'm Mr. Kippis from Heinola, Finland, and I want to stand if it's possible.
Yeah.
Because it's if I talk in the sitting position, it's not so effective, and I really want to walk here. As see, I'm this kind of person that jumps up and makes things happen. Danny knows from OTB. Do we have the slides over there somewhere?
Yep.
Because I can talk a lot, but the slides, they try to make things much more compact. They say that in Finnish language...
Email or...
Yeah, email.
Email you sent it.
Yeah, but I can start slowly here. There's also one video I would like to show you for the first impact to make set the mood here. But I'm from Heinola. My name is Jere Pohjankoski, Mr. Kippis in Instagram. And I've started to play disc golf since 1997. And since then, there was about 16 or 18 courses in Finland totally, probably under 20 courses in Finland. And 3 of those happened to have in Finland, where actually this Pasi Koivu is also, who has already spoken or coming to speak. But he is from our town. And I will continue from here, but let's take a next slide. I hope that this will be seen.
I don't know.
Can you click the YouTube video on?
A YouTube video?
Yeah, there's a link also already. Just click it.
This one? Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's see.
It will be easier
it's a
than
2-minute video. It's about our dream.
Dream continues to grow, and the world has to grow with the dream. Wait, we are not there yet. Let's rewind back to where it all begun. In the beginning of the millennium, a group of young friends had a dream of better disc golf facilities where they could enjoy the game in every possible way. They started to build the dream in 2004, and year by year they began to come closer to that dream. During these years, their group grew, plans got bigger, and the Frisbee spirit became stronger. In the year 2020, Heinola Disc Golf Park World, better known as Kippis, was published with multiple different courses and putting games for every skill level to enjoy the game and have a good time with friends and family. But they could not do all this by themselves, and that's why they asked everybody to join to share the dream of a better world of disc golf. Following partners already share the dream. Discmania, Prodigy Disc Europe, Latitude 64, Dynamic Discs, Prodiscus, Clash Discs, Excel Discs, Whale Sacks, Murray Bags and Stuff, UDisc, the city of Heinola, and many more. But they are not done yet, because the dream continues to grow. The world has to grow with the dream. In the year 2025, Kippis 5.3, totally new 18-hole course, better amateur course, tuned pro course, and much more. Share the dream with us.
This is the part where you all clap now. Yeah, that's a part of our dream. And as said, we have a... you can put the next slide on, thank you. There's a few slides. I assure you that I will be fast. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so we are soon going to have like five total different courses, and we are not aiming to be the best course in the world, even though we are in the top of the listing. The competition is fine, and it's a good joke. Of course, we are going to try to be better because we push each other to be the best one, better versions. But the main goal for us is to amateurs. We are building a journey of a disc golfer. We have a putting course where the children can play. We have a family course, kids course, amateur course, and just building the intermediate course too. So we have for every skill level, we have a good quality disc golf at the same center, playable for free. Yearly, about 35,000 to 50,000 rounds played. Over 50% of the players come from over 32 kilometers or 20 miles. Tourists last year they were from 18 different countries, and the huge one was we made the survey last year, and according to the results, we have over €1 million impact to the local businesses, so it's quite nice, and I'm aiming to multiply that by 10, because million is only like a good start. If we are going to do things like big ones, we need to get like more zeros to the end of the number. 2004, we started with nothing but a dream. We had a young energy and frisbee spirits, and now 20 years later, our pro course has been nominated or selected 4 times in a row to the world's top 10. During these years, we have got several nominations from the Finnish Disc Golf Association and the National Sports Association too. So we have kind of a nice track record. And we have had a DGP, the Europe Silver event, 3 times Finnish National Pro Tour, National for Juniors, yearly, multiple PDGA tournaments, and about every year 3,000 played competition rounds. And this year, Finnish Nationals is going to be held in Heinola, in our course, 2 weeks after the Worlds. And we not only build and maintain the courses, even though it's the main topic of today. We have put a lot of effort to build the organization who does the courses and who does the maintenance, because it's quite easy to build a course, but it's harder to build the organization who maintains it and improves it for decades, because it's like a short visionary game to just build a course. We are aiming to build kind of a course complex or disc golf heaven, which lasts even the time when I die, because we all die sometimes. We need to make processes that last after our active members are going away. And if we are building these fast, effective and good processes. With efficient processes, we can do big with rather small organization. And magic happens when every failure comes to a learning opportunity. And we have been building the Kippis for over 2 decades, and that means we have done a lot of failures. But we have learned much more. And that's why we are maybe in the rankings now, and we have got so good meininki. Hyvä meininki, I don't know in English. But let's take a next one. I will give it a short one. Few words about our Kippis 5.3 project. So we have 5 totally different courses. 3 of those are full 18-hole courses, but there are also putting course and kids course too. But there's a disc plateau, which is a nice putting game. We have a F-puttiparkki and this kind of a disc golf arena. So there are lots of starting level of disc golf that everybody can come and play, even though they are not official players of disc golf PDGA or Finnish Disc Golf Association. There are a lot of players who are not joined even to the local clubs. So we want that they have a good place to play. Next one. So I already got this in my talking, so let's go next one. So this is quite big one, and this is my last slide. So, the dream continues to grow. It means that the world has to grow with the dream. It's not only about the physical world and the physical courses, but it's mostly about the mental thing in our head, because we ourselves need to grow if we want to build big things. Like, for example, Jussi Meresmaa building this disc golf worlds here. It wasn't a short project. I'm sure that he has had to make some kind of a personal development inside his head too, so he could do those. So we are doing the same. In 2 years, our amateur course, it will get colorful lights to whole 18 holes. So it's going to be like a disco golf, if I would say, because we are living up north, and when the fall comes or the winter, even though there's no snow yet, there's no light to play. So if we are building a light to our most popular course, then it's only like a small money additionally to put colorful lights there and make like an amusement park. Imagine the evening game possibilities. It's only like €500,000 to build it, but we are going for it, and we have already made these designs and stuff to make it happen. So 2 years, you want to see that one. And in 2 years, we are going to make a VIP sauna deck to event center, just like Ale has like a VIP deck there. But the big thing here, I want to grab your attention for this one, because I don't see, can you see the background? There's this rocky castle, and we are going to found there in future European Disc Golf Institute. And if we want to build this sport to a good one and a big one, we need to have more education for the players, education for the coaches, a lot of more education. So we are like an organized sport, as ice hockey or as football. There's like coaches for the coaches and 5 level different kind of coaches in the one team, and we don't have those so much in the disc golf yet. But in Kippis, we are trying to build that one, and there's going to be an indoor disc golf training center, lab quality coaching system, everything for the camps and fairs, and we will do this in a collaboration with the Finnish National Sports Academy, which is located at 15 kilometers from our course, so we get a nice little help from there. But now my 3 minutes has already gone. 30 minutes, yeah, I could do easily.
Start the debate.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could easily do like a 1 or 2 days here more and tell more about this. But if you have any questions, this is probably the good spot for it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, let's start the conversation on the different topics. First of all, I would like to say we have of course, top destinations as Kippis, as Ale, those top destinations. What does it involve a disc golf destination to become sustainable on time? And how does it change according to the different countries. I mean, Norway is not the same as Italy. How do you envision the fact of having a sustainable model, for example, in Valle? What is the source of income? Is it the green fees? Is it the pro shop? Is it a mix of those? We will see later after a couple of models in Southern Europe that are combining disc golf with other activities to try to get that critical mass to make it profitable. Which are the key aspects to make a disc golf destination profitable and sustainable?
I'd love to answer that. We are trying to treat it a little bit like an equation, and treating it as bits and pieces. Among others that are super important is to build a type of an ecosystem there where we're able to attract people to come there and stay and play. Play more rounds is one of the key little phrases that we do all of our decisions by. If there's any way that we can make a decision that will allow more people to come there and play more rounds, whether it's having one of the best TDs in the world that has the most amount of tournaments, driving attendance and interest throughout in the disc golf community. That's one of them. Another way is the camping site. Another way is we have a facility that we can have 120 people for company events. There's a lot of different legs to stand on at all, which is it's extremely exciting. We have quite a bit more land to develop, so we can have more courses there. We're talking about making an OCR course there as well, having courses for handicapped people or wheelchair accessible, mental health patients of any kind, kids, families, et cetera, anything that we can do to attract people out there to stay and play. We have the pro shop out there, which also attracts a lot of people from around Sweden. Where I think half of the guests that we've had there in the last 6 or 8 weeks are Norwegians. So it's fabulous to be able to really focus on different parts of the equation that lead to more people staying and playing, basically.
Robert, we are talking about Sweden. We are going to talking about Finland. Those are countries with tens of thousands of players. You are the heart and soul of the first disc golf course in Madrid. Spain is not a very developed country in the topics of disc golf. You're working actively in Cyprus. How do you envision that course building on those countries where disc golf is still not a big thing? How do you deal with municipalities explaining them what is the good thing to create a disc golf course?
Yes, that's a good question. I think as disc golfers, within the players' side, we focus on tournaments and trying to make a PDGA event. But at the end of the day, when you're trying to reach new players, they don't take our sport seriously. They don't think that it would be competitive. So it's like, how do you get someone hooked to get them to try it? So kind of the approach of the Paul Macbeth Foundation, which I completely agree with, is they've been wanting courses that are super easy. I think one of the downsides of our sport in the last 10 years was, and they did a great job, is Jomez, in the sense that everyone sees disc golf tournaments on YouTube, and then all these people want to make a course in their town, and they make these hard-ass courses that no one ever wants to go and play again. So I think the most important thing when you're bringing disc golf to a new country and a new area is that it needs to be approachable. It needs to be super beginner-friendly. I think another hurdle that we run into with the industry side is we want to sell a ton of discs to people to make money, but at the end of the day, they get confused when we hand them 3 discs. So they need to throw a disc that they can throw, which is a super light mid-range or something. And as the perspective that I've seen as an American functioning in Europe is the States has this weird different approach of just volunteerism, let's push it, let's do it, where Europe has a whole government structure behind sports and federations and associations. And so when you're trying to talk to these municipalities, the biggest thing I can always say is, I'm sorry, PDGA, but disc golf is not a sport. That is the worst sales pitch you can ever do in Europe when you're talking about course development. Because as soon as they hear the word sport, they're like, okay, well, are you registered as a sport in your country? In Spain, no, right? Cyprus, no. So there's tons of government money available for infrastructure to be developed for a sport. But if you're in a country where it's not a sport, there's no money. So that's when you switch to the sales pitch side of, let's talk about community, let's talk about senior citizen activity. Let's not necessarily talk about kids, That's one thing I've seen over the years is, okay, kids is a great place to go. As a disc golfer of 30 years, you know, I've always seen kids, as we see now, most of these guys that are really awesome at disc golf, they grew up playing with their uncle, like Nico, for example, right? You went out with your uncle, your dad, you played with the boys, or your family now, which was great with your family, and that's how people play. Disc golf is a game of strategy. Like, how often does a kid pick up a cue stick and get hooked on billiards the first time they play? Like, this kind of steps. So it's using the data from UDisc and talking about tourism. It's talking about beds and heads. It's bringing people from out of town, but also in your sales pitch of talking to the community. As I've run into in Cyprus, depends on where I'm at, they either want tourism. But as I've started to realize in the further south, in certain parts of Spain, in Cyprus, this forest fires is a huge concern. And Cyprus as well basically doesn't trust their citizens to not dump trash in the woods. So you've got to change that sales pitch of, just like in sales, you've got to find out what they want to hear, and it's whether they care about tourism or not, or if they want to do something for their society or they don't. And at the end of the day, you always got the aging population to help you, and then the health side. It's healthy for people. In Europe, we've got free health care. We pay for taxes. But there's incentive, unlike in the States, to keep people healthy. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay.
John, we'll keep on talking about the United States. As you are on the designer point of view, how do you envision the different target groups where you get the designs for? It's not the same to design a disc golf course for a private entity that has some activities and want to make a profit from that. It's absolutely different from a municipality. It's absolutely different for something focused on youth. How do you envision, how do you adapt the design and the product as a whole according to the different needs of different target groups?
Well, that's a great question. And it's just so interesting that we're having this whole discussion about profit, which is not something that we would have had 20 years ago. For me, course design was something I did occasionally, among other things in disc golf, and there was no house design. It wasn't until Dee came into the business. She's the one who created course design, and she had this vision and the entrepreneurial skills to take it to another level. And you have people involved now who own some of these destinations who don't have a disc golf background, but people who have that knowledge and an entrepreneurial spirit come in from the outside. Dee put everything she had into this business and joined me in everything that we were able to do. It's because of her. She just spent most of the last week working on projections for private business and what they can do. I think we do need to acknowledge, too, that in the case of municipalities, we're working with several who see a championship destination type course not as a strict profit, but as something that is going to have an economic impact on their community. They don't get the greens fees, maybe, directly to the municipality, or certainly hotel fees and car rental, but they do have the tax income. And so I've honestly been surprised at how many municipalities, cities and counties and parishes have come to us and said, we want a destination course because we know what it's going to do for our economy. And so that puts certain burdens on us. We always want to make sure that the course is friendly to the people who live there and that it's going to be a good part of their community. But if you're going to attract people from around the country, around the world, there are things you need to do in design to get them there, and hopefully get them to come back. So sometimes it's a feature or maybe a hole, that they have on their bucket list. Hopefully it's the entire course and that experience that will draw them into the area. And then if we do a good enough job, along with the people who maintain it and the people who run the amenities, if we all do our job right, people will want to come back. And we've certainly seen several places where there are groups of people who, same time every year, they're going to be there, and they're going to pay the greens fees, and they're going to buy discs, and they're going to stay in the lodging there. And along with all that, the incentive for profit or economic development means that they're willing to put more into the project. And that means that we can do things in design. I've done things in the last few years that I only dreamed of for many decades. So it's a very exciting time, and I'm so happy to be involved in it. And forgive me, but I have to give credit where credit is due. He has done more than anybody else to turn course design into a profession, and not just something that people do on the side as players.
Dominik, from the European side of the design, you are working, I think it's Germany, Switzerland, Austria. Maybe you can talk us about the difference. Europe, in PDGA Europe, we work with 29 affiliated countries, and there are big cultural land ownership differences, a lot of different aspects. How do you deal on such a big organization as Disc Golf Park? How do you deal with those cultural differences? Not the same, I assume, building a course in Denmark and doing that in Italy.
Yeah. That's a very good point, and also not an easy point to handle. Taking the example of southern Germany, where I'm originally from, and basically it's the same for Austria and for Switzerland. It's not that easy that you go there and say, hey, there's 20 pieces of hectare, and that suits perfectly for disc golf, I'm going to buy it. Probably, just an estimation, those 20 hectare land, they are owned by, I don't know, probably 150 people in total, right? So there's no chance that you can access easy land. So in the end, at least for the moment, you need to work together with municipalities. Even those municipalities do not own all of the land, because there's so much private land as well, and usually it's not in a structured way owned, so everyone owns a piece of it basically. On the other hand, there are institutions, companies, whatever, who own quite big pieces of land, for example skiing resorts. They usually own that, and I think that's also quite an attractive target group for disc golf in general, but also talking about differences in land. Playing disc golf on a skiing slope also brings very different aspects to design a course, to design a whole tourism destination. So here we have to also consider many other things also when designing or planning a course. So yeah, that's honestly not an easy topic to handle, and in the end you have to involve the municipality, you have to involve the tourism agencies or tourism board in order they can help you build up destinations and courses.
Matt, I've been using your information, the UDisc user, how is it called, that usage report of your course, to convince my sport counselor of how cool this golf is. We have had 200 players from 13 different countries, something like this. I feel that those kind of data that you gather on the application are also being useful for small clubs that don't have the tools to show real information, but they can show the usage data from UDisc to convince. How do you feel about those new technologies being a key factor on putting more disc golf courses on the ground?
Yeah, it's definitely very impactful. When we talk to people, we don't have the exact number, but most new courses that are going in the ground these days are using stats from UDisc to support their case. And I think most existing courses are using stats to get improvements made and to make the city and the municipality realize how many people are playing. And from the perspective of tourism, I think it's really difficult to measure things like tourism. We're certainly not doing it perfectly, but having some numbers that we know are real is better than having nothing. And often when we talk with people that are working to get a new course or to show the municipality or the city how much people are coming to their course, they tell them that other sports don't have information like this. It's very difficult to measure how many people are coming to play basketball or baseball. The only way you can do it is if there's a tournament. Yeah. And I think it's, I know we're at a PDGA tournament, but most disc golf is recreational. The vast majority is recreational. And so measuring that and reporting on that is very impactful to let them know. Like, it's not just these 3 or 4 big tournaments we run a year, it's every single day of the year. rain or shine, people are playing.
A personal question. Here in Europe, you know that we also use some other apps that have been longly established, for example, Disc Golf Metrics, for example, Jing in Sweden. Is there any option, because when we see the stats of the number of users, I always think, okay, this is the UDisc users, but the numbers could be bigger. Is there any some kind of option for those yearly growth reports trying to integrate, gather, hey, Disc Golf Metrics, can you bring me some numbers and make some summatory numbers, or this is asking too much?
I mean, I think we'd love to have the most accurate picture of disc golf that we possibly could. We'd love to talk with anybody that would help with that. We actually just had we had drinks with the Ching guys a couple days ago.
Ah, great.
We're very friendly with everybody that's working in disc golf. And I think that the more data we can get to pool together, the better, including the PDGA. We'd love to put all your numbers together too with ours. So.
Okay. A couple of questions that I would like to introduce into the conversation is, disc golf is a small sport, but sometimes when we make a disc golf resort, if we want to have a critical mass to justify, for example, putting a cafe, putting a restaurant, putting a hotel, sometimes we need to grow so big that sometimes we think, okay, is disc golf enough for that? We have a couple of examples. One of them is in my own country, in Spain. It's called Irrisarri land. It's a rural resort. It has a disc golf course. I think whole disc golf course are excellent, very mountain, it's very hilly. But they also have this downhill mountain biking. You can rent your bike. You have full downhill tracks and lifts to go up there. Horse riding, zip lines, canopies, adventure on the trees, a lot of activities for the kids. So the critical mass they reach with a lot of activities. They also make a lot of summer camps. They also make a lot of groups of schools that go Monday to Friday to make their activities there. They have team building, companies that go there to make zip line, disc golf, etc. They make weddings, beautiful weddings on a very beautiful natural surrounding. And they have a cafe, a restaurant. They have a hostel, a cheap one, that you can go there with your colleagues to play disc golf. They have a hotel. And they have even luxury bungalows. They have like 20. Everything is made of glass. You even have an outside jacuzzi, and you can be in hole 18 on your jacuzzi. Another round, honey. So it's a true experience that you can. And for example, as a reference, they have more than 100 employees in the summer. So it's a big deal. And I would like to introduce the question. We also have here Sofia Pereira from Portugal. She knows very well another of those examples, which is called Valle de Encanto. So I would like to introduce the question, is this golf enough to justify a big resort? Should we incorporate other activities? Or where is the money made? Is it in the green fees? Is it in the restaurant? Is it in the hotel? Maybe Sofia can also explain a bit about this model, and we can take some conclusions.
It's a great question, Calixto, and especially in a small country, small disc golf country like yours and mine. I think it's very different when you have thousands and thousands of players in your country that will do disc golf tourism. To be honest, the Valle de Encanto is also a rural disc golf course, but I believe there, although there is many other things, I believe the investment is towards disc golf tourism, both recreational players using a lot UDisc. That's at this point the people that show up on the course are finding it either through UDisc or PDGA or Ching, because the course is on these systems and Matrix as well. But what Amaral is doing, Amaral Carvalho is the owner of the space, and he has an amazing rural space, but he's built 3 layouts. So a pro-type layout, an amateur layout, and then a really short layout for juniors. And now a new 9-hole course is been built because these layouts are in the middle of the valley. So if you have any difficulties, mobility difficulties, or you want to use a cart, it's not the great place. So now he's built a 9-hole course that is friendly for any age and anybody. He's also, because he's bringing in so many people into a small town in Portugal for this, he's convinced the municipality to put a small course in the middle in the city park. He's also convinced the municipality to invest in 600 starter kits for schools, the local schools, so they'll be using the city course and and the neighboring city as well to put a small course in. And so it's funny what you were talking about, Rob. I agree with you 100%. In Portugal, the Disc Association, of which I'm also involved in, is not federation. It's only an association. So you have limited sort of validity or support from municipalities. But when you find a municipality that does support you, then it's great. I hope that answers.
Yeah.
But yes, he has donkeys, and you can do donkey riding. But
Stian, you can maybe expand. Leland also has horse riding. You love horses. How do you feel about this combination of sports? Is disc golf enough to justify a big disc golf resort?
Yes and yes. I think me and Lene, the wife, she's also here today. She's the horse part of the business. So many times we see a family that comes and maybe one parent and one kid goes and does the horseback riding or pets the goats or try and find the rabbits we have, and other half goes to play disc golf. Earlier the women were talking about there should be somewhere where you can safely leave your children while you as a mother go play disc golf. So this is also an option we talked about just earlier today, that could also be something. But what I'm more and more, also like these guys in Tallinn that are big event people, they are big on especially silver, like we have to work together. The more courses like and centers like Valle, Kippis, us, closer together. If I like I said, I have this regional dream that Agder is going to be the best disc golf region. Well, not the best, it's becoming like this weird joke, but just a top level, let me say a top level destination. For instance, if I'm traveling and I know last week we had John Houck visiting us just to see if there could be something, and also we went to visit our neighbor, which is 8 minutes down the valley. Maybe there could be 2 great courses in our existing. So working with not only the municipality, but also the region, the county, and even also the government to have more destination courses in the same area. Then maybe one course provides the horses and one course has the mountain biking and one has, and then you all have a little bit of accommodation maybe. Because when my neighbors' limited accommodation fills up, then they come to us. But you're never going to travel to our course and not play the neighbor's course. So this idea of some people I've noticed, they just want to keep the ideas to themselves. I'm all about sharing because we need to figure just
Adam,
regional.
The question is on you. If I go to Åland Islands, there are 16 disc golf courses. I don't know the exact number. I assume that we have, of course, the accommodation. Different. What do I do if I go with my family, which are not disc golf enthusiasts? How could we, our family as a whole, enjoy a week in Åland, doing all kind of activities, having time together and time for disc golf? How do you envision that on a governmental level with governmental support?
First of all, about the funding from the official, it was a difference to get funding for making arena or equipment. Because if you have an arena, you got 25% funding. And if you have equipment, you could get 50% if you put it to all of the Åland people's goodness. So that's why we asked for the equipment. And that was the reason we got 16 courses, because it's 16 different municipals on the island. And the simple formula is that the more courses we have, the chances to stay is much higher because they want to play all the courses. So that's why our tourists is staying 3.5 days, because they want to play as many courses as possible. But the other part of the question is operation outdoor, because we believe YouTube sports like parkour, bouldering and other stuff is really important. And bouldering has been the last 25 years big in Åland, and that was the role model for me, because if it could come 3,500 boulders from Finland and Sweden every year, then it should be possible to do something with disc golf. And actually, there are coming boulders from Switzerland. I mean, the country for Alps coming to Åland and climb on the Jere mountains that is 100 meters high, then you have a big opportunity to get them to come there. And they're coming there for bouldering and playing disc golf, or bouldering and fishing, or bouldering or mountain bike. So that is the Operation Outdoor, to find new ways to combine different sports, outdoor activities.
Absolutely. Matt, let's use a time machine and try to make the most of the experience of the United States. I have been longer than us on this sport. What hints could you give us from your global view of the disc golf courses around the world, and especially the United States? What ideas could we take in Europe to make the fastest possible growth of disc golf courses and the different courses models? What could we learn from the experience of US in the last decades?
It's a great question. I think it may not be about the US exactly, but our team recently did a team retreat that we do each year, and we went to Iceland. And we learned that and some of you have already talked about this, the first course they ever built was a very hard course, and nobody in the whole country played for about 20 years. And then they built a beginner course, and now 20% of the whole population of Iceland plays disc golf. And even in the States, this is something that we need to do better at. We have a lot of courses, and I think that some of the lessons that you could apply from the States, like maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should look more to Iceland and look what they did. Like, we need more beginner courses, and when we have destination courses, I was just at Valle the other day. They've got a putter course, they've got a medium hard course, and they've got a very hard course. I think that's exactly what you need to bring tourism, more tourism into disc golf, because you need a place for the whole family to play. Even if they don't, even if your family are not disc golfers, some of them are, they can still have fun at a short putter course. Even if disc golf is not their most favorite thing in the world, they're still going to have fun because you're not going to lose discs. The holes are approachable, and anybody can play. So that may not be exactly the question you asked or the answer that you were expecting. But in the States, disc golf's been around longer. We've had chances to make a lot more mistakes. We have a lot of hard courses, and our courses are not easy to get to. So the big advantage that I see in Europe in general is that there are many courses you can get to on public transport. In the States, that's super rare. It's just not a thing. There's not many courses in cities, and I think that's the reason that we're seeing so much growth, particularly in the Nordics. There are a lot of courses near cities you can get on a train, a bus, bike, walk. And in the States, we just can't do that. We have to drive to everything.
That's great.
So that's my advice. Build easy courses and then aspire to build longer courses. And if you have enough space, build them all in the same place.
Vincent, maybe you can give us a hint, and also I think that Dominik and John, from the designer point of view, when we grow from a recreational course to a top competition course where you want to host a DGPT event, a major, etc., you don't only have to think on the sport part, not only on making the holes tough enough for the top players, you also have to start thinking on other things like media. Where are the cameras going to be? You have to start thinking on crowd control. How do you bring the people around the course? How do you envision that? Is it possible to keep it that on point one, on the phase one of the design, or of course you think that you're going to be there? You adapt your project. Do you have a long-term vision that you want to also host those kind of events? How does it work for those kind of top-level competitions?
Yeah, we certainly have a huge ambition to hold majors in the future, definitely. The course was built in 2013, so and it's a pretty friendly course in terms of having the public there. It's not the yellow course or amateur course is not maybe, but the tournament course is absolutely better equipped for that. I've gotten a lot of really good advice from different people within PDGA Europe that I've had the pleasure of speaking with and trying to build different areas to disperse all of the different guests to increase the amount of public that comes there. So it's quite important, obviously, to be able to manage parking Parking is a huge issue, but if you can get creative about it, that's also something that you need to be able to satisfy. Food, vending areas, accommodations for the players. There is an awful lot of different things that you have to be able to check off. The player experience, the guest experience, and I think the PDGA has done a good job of kind of easing us into it. With the Silver Series event last year and the Elite Series event this year, and we're going to search or to apply for bigger events going forward. So you earn your stripes, definitely. But you get a lot of very helpful advice and comments along the way that prepare you for what's to come. And then it takes time. It takes a lot of time to be able to adjust and to facilitate, managing a 3.5, 4.5, 5,000 guests in one day is not possible in pretty much any real disc golf course, I would almost say. So,
yeah. Dominik or John, do you get sometimes some customers that say, I want to design a world top level course to host any competition? Is it something that happens later in the process? How does it work?
Well, as far as doing it later in the process, we're dealing with that on courses all over right now. Courses that weren't designed to handle spectators and food vendors and all the things that are part of it today. So you're absolutely right that being able to accommodate all those factors is a very big part of design now. There are areas where previously I might have used them as part of the fairway, and now I need to use them to, put spectators there. So you absolutely always need to discuss with the client what their goals are. And so we have a lot of clients come to us and we want to be on the BGD, we want to host a major event, we want to have spectators out here. And we also have clients who say, well, I want a really good course now, but I want to be able to expand in the future to accommodate these other things. So we're doing both right now, and it's a very different process. If you know from a client ahead of time, we're not looking to do those things. That has a big impact on the design process. Just the amount of land that you need now to accommodate a big event now, and certainly expect that it's going to be more so in the future. So, being able to have good places for spectators to be, where they can get close to the players, but not too close, and as you mentioned also, close to the camera and camera angle. It is all part of the design process, and it's a new challenge, which we're excited about and we're enjoying that.
Yeah, to add on here, I truly think that, of course, you need to envision that once you step on the first time on the ground, that what is possible with the area you have around. However, on the other hand, in my experience, being in Germany, being in not so far developed disc golf country so far, I haven't had the talk yet that someone told me, hey, please design me a major course. Obviously, people want to have a great championship course, but on a German national level, that's still not a major disc golf level. On the other hand, I believe that things like crowd control, network for media and television and everything, I truly believe that this can be handled. Other infrastructure, such like public transport, such like parking spaces, to be even able to have crowd control later on, is absolutely mandatory on, in my opinion, on every single course. Because it doesn't help anyone if you put a new course, even a great new course, somewhere deep in the forest. No one will know about it. So when it comes to that, yes, sure, you have to have some sort of ambition to not only design a 9-hole course for the kids, but also to grow this course into a bigger stage.
Jere, I wanted to ask you, we have seen all the current and the future plans for Kippis, such a big resort, Heinola Disc Golf Park. So I would like to ask you about the relationship between Kippis and Heinola as a city. Do you deal with municipality? Is the municipality prone to help? They envision this as just a private activity. How easy is on a very well-developed country in terms of disc golf for Kippis, for example, to get public support, for example, from Heinola municipality? Are we big enough to have public support on those kind of activities?
Yeah, that's a good question because at start the sport was smaller in Finland too, and we were a small association. But then we started to make an active work to lobby, to push the sport to the city of Heinola, so they know what we are doing. So if we are doing something, they don't know. If they don't know it, they cannot support it. So we started systematically every year. We put the information there, what we are doing, what's happening in the sport, what's happening in other cities of Finland or other courses, so they can see that this sport is a real thing. And after that, they started slow by slow, bit by bit, they started to support us. First thing was that at first point, City of Heinola gave us tools, something like a chainsaw and this like trimmers to us to use. But then me personally, I broke few of those, and then they said that buy your own equipment and we can give you gasoline. But next year they say that we are using too much gasoline, that we are maybe stealing it. So then they told that we give you 4,000 euros per year, and then we thought we are so rich because at the time we didn't have anything. But that was a start. Yeah. Then in 2021 we held this Heinola Fripa Festari, like a frisbee golf festival. 21 days in a row, different kind of competitions, and quite big competitions at the weekends. So we have this kind of tent there too, and a live broadcast from Prodigy Pro Tour. But the Finnish, the Heinola, the decision makers, I don't know the chicks and them, but they came to see it and thought that, oh my God, this is a bigger thing that they didn't know. So after that, they called me and said that, Jere, we would like to give you a bit more maintenance money. What would be a good number? And I said that maybe plus 50%, so maybe 6,000 euros. And they left me about it, but after a few weeks they called me back and they gave us 10,000 euros for maintenance for every year.
Yeah. As you say, it's not just doing it, but keeping it in shape. It's not easy.
And next year we are having a new maintenance deal because the changes in the Finnish government has changed, and they don't give us so much this kind of a support money to make the maintenance team. Great. But yeah, you have to do systematic influencing to the city and to the media also. For example, for every competition held in Heinola or every competition where our player is in other city or other country playing, if they are on the podium or some kind of success there, I personally write the story to the media, so we can get like a paper magazine, we can get information about the media, so the common people know us and know what we are doing and know the sport. So when I call them, do you want to make a collaboration with us? We have the Kippis. Oh, I know you, and I have been waiting for your call. So it's much easier to start the conversation, even if it's like a collaborator or a company or city of Heinola or government, etc.
Absolutely.
So it's a good thing to be known.
It's a good thing to have. I would like to go deeper in that communication thing, and I would like to make use of the dual role of Stian as a course creator and as a content creator. We're going to see a short video about Lille Leland and about how important is you don't only have to have a good product, you have to be able to show it to the world from one way or the other and make the people desire to go there. So let's see that small example, and after this topic we will open a question time. Can you explain us a bit about that dual role of not only doing a great course, but letting people know you have already made that 200 episode series about how to build this golf course, and how important it is to be able to showcase your destination to attract people?
Well, it definitely has helped us because we haven't had any pro tour or any kind of tour events other than our own 8 years. But we had this Instagram account for a long time and the YouTube videos. We're pretty much just being ourselves and sharing what we're doing. But I think that is smart, but also building the hype around what you have that makes you special. And like I said before, if there's something close to you, that's also really good. Bring them in and work together with them and build your destination hype. And lastly, I briefly said that I want to try and do something. I did try this with the Magic of Disc Golf to tell stories, and the initial idea with that was how can we get disc golf on mainstream media, and how can it be interesting for someone that's never seen disc golf. That's why we put Christopher Hivju, the actor, in episode 1, and trying to make that as engaging for a fan and also a non-disc golfer. So now we had the national tour event in May, where I got KJ Naibo's team, KJ Disc, to come and film, and I said, I don't want play-by-play. I want you to tell stories. I want you to focus on what's unique for Leland. I want you to focus on what's unique for disc golf. I want you to show the battle for second to last. I don't care. You can, of course, show the winners, because some people want to know who won. But tell stories and make it around 20 minutes for the whole weekend, the whole event. And that'll be the first piece of the puzzle and our step 1. And I can continue my communications with the national broadcasters to see, okay, this is our first sketch. What do you think about this? And then I'll get feedback. And then I'll keep trying to build a product that national TV would want, because the feedback from them now, especially in Norway, and as you know, Norway is the country in the world with most disc golfers after the US, especially on, or at least on UDisc. So there is a lot of interest, and they see this. So I'm trying to get there, and what I have been telling them, we can create the next chess adventure. Because as you know, we have the best chess player in the world, Magnus Carlsen, and the national broadcaster took a sport that, at least in my opinion, is not typically visually pleasing in a very exciting way. You have to build up the chess game with stories and good commentators and good production and everything around it, because just watching it is, especially the classic chess, where nothing is happening for maybe 45 minutes, so there has to be something more. So I'm comparing it to that now you have the stories, but you also have something visually really pleasing. And we still need to figure out how to get to where we can film it proper, but yeah, this isn't a filming talk, but yeah. It also goes into the course, build your TV towers, and where you can film multiple holes from one tower maybe, and yeah. I don't know if I answered your question, did I?
No, but it was interesting anyways. that tower thing, I'm interested on putting optical fiber and that is what golf does with a lot of money, of course. But I feel in some of the events we have been combining fixed cameras. We are doing now currently on hole 18, it's even usual to have a hole 18 camera on top of something to get the hot rounds. And I feel that combination of roaming cameras plus fixed cameras with multiple access, and Stian has some exciting plans.
I was just adding, because I remember you asked me in the thing, can you talk about this? I'm not going to talk about it, just mention it, that an idea for the next course we hopefully are building when I can get the funding and everything, that is I want to run electricity and Wi-Fi to every tee pad. And I want to have the option to have a roof over every tee pad with something like an old sailcloth from a sailboat so it doesn't rip in the wind. So, oh shit, raining tomorrow. At least you players, you can be dry on the tee and the cameras can be dry. But with electricity and Wi-Fi, everything's so much easier if you have it everywhere. So when you're doing the digging, just do it. And then you can have lights also.
Okay, we can start the questions turn.
Guys, my name is Steve. Thank you. I know most of you up there and have worked with you in one way or another. I wanted to bring up something that we've done in the United States that has worked really well when creating that destination course and utilizing UDisc stats and going towards, I have a couple of courses that we designed and built that are county properties, and counties are larger than just towns in the United States. But the county has actually utilized the UDisc stats of how many people are coming in from the outside to play, as well as what their active county residents are doing by the number of steps that they're taking, by the number of calories that they're burning. We're starting to get some exciting sponsorship opportunities just because of that. And just to pass this along, they've started to raise the hospitality tax because they're seeing people come in from the outside. So in one case, they've doubled the hospitality tax from 3% to 6%. And they're using that additional 3% of money to pay for our maintenance, which is about $40,000 a year just to cut the fairways on one of my courses. So that being said, that's a good opportunity for you guys to engage the counties or the towns or the cities, whoever you're dealing with. Show them how much activity their local residents are showing on their courses, not just the outside stuff. The health benefits of disc golf is something that we could push really hard. So I think that that's just something good for you guys to all take into account when you're talking to the people that are in charge of the money.
Can I answer that a little bit? So I just wanted to reiterate what he said is totally correct. All of us are disc golfers. We know what rounds mean. And people that don't play disc golf don't really understand that. And so typically when people are working with a city, trying to get support, you want to talk about how much exercise people are getting and how much time they're spending on the course. That's how you can compare disc golf to other activities. And also, what Robert said before, like framing it as a sport sometimes too is not great either because it's not a sport for everybody. So if you can frame it in terms of, you know, this activity or this pastime is accounting for this much time spent in a park and people are walking this many kilometers per year, it's really easy to just understand what's going on versus there were 10,000 rounds here. Like that doesn't mean anything to somebody that doesn't play disc golf. So just keep that in mind. Rounds are great for us as disc golfers, but they may not be as understandable to people that have no clue what disc golf is, which is honestly most people still the biggest problem for disc golf is awareness.
Okay, the wind is picking up. It's going to make the putting contest more interesting. That is going to start, I think, FPO finals are 4 p.m. and the opening ceremony after. I want to thank you, all of you, for coming here, and especially our speakers here. I personally feel that it's been a very interesting experience, and I feel that we have to make use of those big events that gather so many people to make not only competition, but things that can grow the sport. I think that I personally have learned a lot of things that I think that I could apply locally, that think globally, act locally. This has been filmed and we will broadcast in PDGA YouTube channel. And I want to thank you again. We have seen that disc golf has a bright future, and there are many aspects covering a disc golf course. It's not only a design, it's also the promotion, it's also a long-term vision. That is why we need professionals, that is we need important information to convince our municipalities. And as I always say, if we are able to expand a small fraction of the success model of those Nordic countries to the big countries in Europe, as I say as a joke, Finland is 6 million people. It's like Madrid. So it's a wonderful exception. But if we are able to do that in Germany with 86 million people, or in what we call the top 5, that we have more inhabitants than the United States. So if we are able to expand a small fraction of this success model to the Central and Southern Europe, we will be able to bring the big numbers here, and everything naturally will become bigger and more professional, and the knowledge that we have here will have the means to make their bright ideas and the visions of future a reality. So thank you very much again, everyone, and let's enjoy that putting process. Thank you very much.